Hi. So this is the not the weekly review because I've not been for about 2 weeks or so. So it's the bi-weekly review whole stuff thing doodah with other bits added as well. It's a mountain. There's a lot of comics. So I'll try and be as quick as possible with them. So I've separated it into companies. So DC, Image. So these are the two main ones I've been buying. Dynamite. Hold on. Dynamite's done quite well this week. Dynamite 4 issues. And then Marvel 2. Wow! I'm expanding with my Marvel collection and Titan 1. So we'll start with the big boys first. We'll start with Nightwing from DC by Dan Watters and Dexter Soy. Great cover. I've been Dexter Soy's won me over. His art style now, I can't imagine anybody else doing Nightwing now. Yeah, Bruno Redondo's work on Nightwing was phenomenal. It was acrobatic. It was very dynamic, very artistic, very clever how they did so many different artistic styles in it, how they managed to show fluid movement. But there's something about Dexter Soy's work in it which just feels more like a Nightwing comic. Dan Watters has managed to blend the best bits of Tom Taylor's run with the best bits of the original Nightwing run, and then with a huge chunk of his own brand of cool noirish weirdness. And it doesn't get much weirder than this. Basically, this is the final part of the storyline where um, Nightmite, is it Nightmite or is it Nightwing? Whatever he's called. Basically, like Batmite, but Nightwing's version of him has basically come being trapped in Bloodhaven, but you can kind of like see beyond the facade of how he looks normally, this cute little imp, and he's like this big Cthulhu kind of creature, which is just expanded on his because he's lost control of his powers. He's influencing the whole area around him, and so it's very very trippy. Lots of weird shit happens, but in the best possible way. The closest I could give it for like a cool, it's given me, and I don't think you can get higher praise than this. It's given me Alan Moore Miracle Man vibes. That kind of where it's classic superheroes, but then it veers off into something very very different. When I first tried Dan Waters' run on this, I thought, oh, this is very run of the mill, and he was tricking us. I think he was just finding his feet to see what he wants, what bits he wants to keep of the classic Nightwing, and then inject his style of writing into it, and that's what he's done. And it's not this fever dream, and it's a fever dream in the best possible way. He's from the same creative studio because they are old friends and do work together in the studio at times. They've done what as Alex Pagnadol and Ram V, and Dan Watters is like the middle child. So he's got the poetry and flowery nature of Ram V, but then with the more grounded storytelling tropes of Alex Pagnadol. So he's like this perfect blend of them both. So there's bits in this where it's very flowery, like Alan Moore can be, but very grounded at the same time. It's just wonderful. This is quickly becoming. Oh, 1 second, little bit of a nose leak. Um, this is quickly becoming one of my favourite comics every month now. It's just a pleasure to read. He's building such in a. He's what I think this is like his 8th issue, something like that. He's building this new mythology in Bloodhaven, this new mythology for Nightwing, and I'm here for it. There's so much that happens in this issue, and it finishes on such a way where it closes this chapter, but then leaves elements of it open, what he can explore later on. Tell you who else it reminds me of? Rick Veitch. When Rick Veitch does good, weird, like The One or Max Immortal, things like that, it's superheroes gone weird, and I'm all here for it. 10 out of 10, wonderful. If you've not been buying that, shame on you. If you like, I tell you what, going off on tangents here, DC are doing now what Marvel used to be celebrated for, and what Marvel have fucked up big style for quite a few years now. They're doing good street level heroes, which I'll come to with some of the comics what I've got this week. Marvel haven't got that. Daredevil's bland as fuck. Um, and who else is there? Moon Knight. I think that's the only one that's good with the street level heroes. But DC's running away. They've got a really good team of street level heroes now in comics, and I'm here for it. It's wonderful. And talking of that, I'll go on to the next street level hero one that I've read, Green Arrow by Chris Condon and Montos. The art in this is some of the most beautiful art I've seen in a long, long time. Montos' skill levels is just going higher and higher and higher. I don't think he gets enough praise. He's good at doing still natural moments and then action shots as well. The writing by Chris Condon is fantastic. I'm going to be honest, I did not like Joshua Williamson on Green Arrow. I found it very claggy, very saccharine, very. You can write about an extended family of a superhero in such a way where it's not saccharine, where it's not cloying, where it just feels real. But Joshua Williamson didn't do that. He threw everybody in, and it's like, oh, let's all just hug and talk about our feelings. This is how you do it. This is a very natural, realistic way. He's got Speedy, or what's he called now, Arsenal in here. Obviously, his kind of son, and then you've got Arsenal's daughter in here as well, because it's revisiting a trope from years and years and years ago when it was Green Lantern and Green Arrow, hard traveling heroes, when Speedy, as he was called then, got addicted to heroin. But through no choices or no decision of its own, this addiction is now forced on him yet again by this basically psychopathic rogue archer. And the dialogue in this, the still moments where people are just talking, is really good. The action is really tense and taut. This is the best Green Arrow has been since Mike Grell, and I really hope that Chris Condon and Monster stay on this for a long, long time. It's fantastic. This is street level heroes done right, and 9 out of 10. Buy this comic and buy Nightwing. And next up, another comic that I'm loving now is Superman Unlimited, and I will say it's $4.99. But each issue, I don't know why they've done it with this particular comic, but each issue is a cardstock cover. The paper quality is really good. And what I do love about DC, their ad placements. I know it sounds something that might not be that important, but it is, which I'll show you when I come to Marvel. They let you read enough pages of story before being interrupted by an ad placement. So the story flows. Marvel, whole other story. But anyway, back to this. Dan Slott writing Superman. Man, this time it's Raphael Albuquerque, but also Lucas Mayer on the artwork. The art is wonderful. So basically, Superman comes to Gotham because Jimmy Olsen is stationed there because the Daily Planet has now expanded and they've got pockets all across America. And so you get Robin in here, you get Man-Bat in here, and Man-Bat, it's not Kurt Langstrom, it's another strain of Man-Bat who's got a virus what infects people, and as you can see, it affects a certain uh, blue big boy Blue Scouts, our old mate Clark Kent's Kal-El Superman, and it's fun. It's got a person who's working off the Daily Planet, this girl who's a gorilla from Gorilla City. It's just fun. It's kitsch. It's retro, but it's very, very futuristic at the same time. I'm having a blast with this. I've stopped Superman because I'm going to get that in collected editions because it does sometimes cross over with other stuff. But I'm so pleased I took a chance on this. I wasn't so sure with the first 2 issues, but it clicked with the third issue. And with this one, it's carrying on. It's a blast. 8 out of 10. Wonderful comic. And then one which I know Geeky Old Hog didn't enjoy, which was New Gods number 9. So this turns it on its head. Normally, it's Evan Cagle doing the majority of the main story, and then another artist does like the prologue. But in this one, Evan Cagle does the prologue, which is wonderful, and then Pi Par does the art. And I know Geeky Hog hated that. He hated the jumping style. I really enjoyed it. But maybe, I think if you're not familiar with Piper, you can be, oh, who's this young upstart? But he's been around for years. He does the graphic design layout for all of God, I'm such a nerd of all of 2000 AD Rebellion books. He designs the layout of the 2000 AD comic, and he's also did a really cool image comic with Rob Williams, I think it was, and it's called Petrol Head, which I do recommend you to check out. He's got this very European kind of flavour to his art, so he does everything. He does the colouring and everything. So his art style is different from your classic American one where you have the artist doing either pencils with an ink or doing the pencils and the inks, and then somebody colours it. He does everything on his, so it's got this very much more textured, rounded, because he doesn't always have to rely as much on inks because he'll fill it in with his own colours because he does everything. And so I enjoyed it because it was focused on this alien planet, his part of the story, with a Green Lantern, and it fit that kind of vibe. It fit that science fiction vibe because he does that really well. He's done strips of 2000 AD as well, and he does that really well on 2000 AD as well. So maybe because I had familiarity with him, I enjoyed his work. I enjoyed the story. It was good. It's not as cuckoo as some people make it out to be. I'm not going to name names, Geeky or Hog. I found it flowed really well, but I like Ram V. I love that cover, by the way. But it's not the strongest comic of Ram V's, I will say. It's very high concept, and I think sometimes the concept is so high that the storytelling can be a bit lost, but it's still enjoyable. But I will give it about a 7.5 for that one. And then we move on to the Bat family of titles, what I've got for this week. And that first up is Batman and Robin Year 1, issue 10, by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. So this is 12 issue maxi series. This is going to be an evergreen perennial classic. It's perfect. It's got this wonderful fusion of classic, almost feels like a Dick Tracy cartoon. This classic Batman with modern sensibilities at the same time. Chris Samney's artwork is very Alex Toth-like. He's the natural successor to Darwin Cook. It's just a joy. It's what more can you say? I mean, this is getting praise from everybody. It's a wonderful story. It's been 10 issues. It's going to be a 12 issue. It's a long, overarching story like The Long Halloween, but it doesn't feel long. It doesn't feel bloated. It doesn't feel flabby. And I like how Mark Waid's using the trope of Clayface, but expanding it and making him truly a force to be reckoned with. And the interplay between Bruce, Alfred, and Dick Grayson is wonderful. It's a joy to read for each month. There's never been a weak issue. 9 out of 10. And another one that blew me away this week was the anniversary issue, Detective Comics issue 1100. 1100 issues. Marvel. It's gone past issue 10. And I adore this. And I'm going to do an actually, because when Geeky Hard was reviewing this, he said Tom King did the first story, didn't it? It's Tom Taylor who's the regular Detective Comics writer. And it was wonderful. It's a story focused on this young boy who's deaf, whose treasured pet is this wonderful little dog, what he's got. He's stolen by this gang. And you don't realise he's deaf until about after page 5, and then you realise, but the story's silent all the way through, and then it's like, oh, of course, because he uses sign language, and Batman uses sign language to speak to him, and it's just silence all the way through. The art by Miko Janin is wonderful. Tom Taylor is such a class act in storytelling. I don't think he gets enough praise. I think he gets overshadowed a lot by a lot of his mentors, a lot of his people who started in the business like when he did. But I think he's better than a lot of them because he knows when to shut up, basically, and he literally does in this. He lets the pictures tell the story. It didn't feel like a Batman story, I must be honest. Or it did, but it felt like a Batman story from the 40s and 50s. But for me, it was much more a spirit story. And if you've never read Will Eisner's the Spirit, what the hell are you doing calling yourself a comic fan? Nearly choked my head. That's my hair attacking me for being a gatekeeper. I'm saying that lighthearted, but I do recommend, if you've never read any Will Eisner, Yeah, City of God and all that great, but do check out the Spirit strips, because even though they came out in the 30s and 40s, I think they went up to the 50s, and then Wallywood came on and did some later ones. They are so, it's a masterclass in how to do a story, from the lettering to the artwork to the composition of how a page is laid out. And that's what you got with this story in here. It told a perfect story. It had my heart and my mouth at times, because we go, oh God. And if you've read it, you realise what I mean, because there's a bit where Batman's got this box, and you think, no, is it going to be like a seven, like in Seven, where there's something in the box? Well, you don't want to be in the box, but I'm not going to say anymore. But just wonderful, just perfect. And the backup strips are equally just as strong. It was nice to see Mariko Tamaki back on Batman. I think she got a bit of a short end of a stick. I thought she did a really good, solid run on his detective. I think she got overshadowed by Tiny and other people at the time. But it was a good. This was a really fun story, and it had art. Oh yeah, it had art on this one by Amansei Nahulpan, and the art's really clean and nice. And then there's a really nice Greg Rucka one. I would love for Greg Rucka to be handed another. I'm loving the miniseries what he's doing with Nicholas Scott, but I'd love for him to be handed a question book, either with Vic Sage or Renee Montoya, because he's such a good detective writer. And this strip with Alvaro Martinez Bueno on art is a really class short story. He had a really fun ending on the end of it, and it's just, each of the strips in this are just showing different sides of Batman, but also different sides of Bruce Wayne as well. And it finishes with a really gorgeous one written by Dan Waters with art by one of the best artists in the business, Bill Sienkiewicz, however you say his name. It's just great. Like a nice little poem, like a little nice coda to finish the storyline, the stories in this collection. This is how you do a celebratory issue. It's only $5.99. I'm saying only because you got, even when you take away the ads, you still have 48 pages of story, which is great in this day and age. 9 out of 10. A near perfect comic. And then we come on to the Absolute section of my pile. First up, Absolute Batman, issue 11. So it's got the regular writer of Scott Snyder, and it's got guest artist Clayman. What I like about Clayman, he can do the small panels, but he also stamps his own artistic style on the comic as well. So he does this huge, some really great big splash pages as well. So it's a real big juxtaposition in layouts in this issue. It delves very much into the backstory of Bane, and it really shows you that that man having his back broken back in the 90s is nothing compared to what happens to Batman in this issue. And oh my god, oh my god, this issue was savage. I can't really say much more because I don't want to give it away. You really do. If you've been, you need to read this. I know some people are. I don't get what people are saying because they contradict themselves a lot of times. They say, "Oh, but it's not enough like Batman." Or when it does have nods, when it does tip its cap to characters in Batman, it says, "Oh, it's trying to be too much like Batman." Make up your fucking mind. It's its own beast, and I love it for it. I'm just enjoying it for what it is. A really wonderful story, and the writing by Scott Snyder. Oh my god, he's so good. He, it's intricate. It's so well written, very pulpy, and it's not pretentious. And I'm going to come back to that word on another Absolute comic in a bit. And you mustn't be surprised by the mark I give it. But next up, oh, that cover. Oh, wonderful. So this is Absolute Wonder Woman by issue 11 by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. What can I say? I mean, It's a near perfect comic in each issue. Really enjoying this storyline. And there's a really, really interesting thing at the end. If you know, you know. And it's got to have big ties to All in One. That's what it was called, wasn't it? But great story. Great art, great story. Again, it's another must buy. That pet cover though, it just draws you in. Yeah, 9 out of 10, just wonderful. Now, I have been singing praise of this comic, but I think it's more on an artistic standpoint. And I'm gonna confess something. I don't like Dennis Camp's writing. I think he's very, 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 very pretentious. He's very clever with he thinks he's very clever with his writing. Feels cold, feels clinical. I don't feel there's any soul to it. And half the time I'm just reading and going, what the fuck is going on? What is this all about? And this is where we come to absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 6. What the fuck? It's not cuckoo, it's just what the fuck. I like cuckoo, I like weird. I love Gerard Way's writing. And his comics are head fucks, the head trips. I love Grant Morrison when at his most weirdest. But there's something about them where you can enjoy it. You know, the story progresses. This, don't ask me what it's about. Do not ask me what it's about. The art is gorgeous. The art is a masterclass in what you can do with comics, with colours, with layouts, with inks, with shade. The art is absolutely beautiful. If I doff my imaginary cap to you, Javier Rodriguez, your artwork is stunning. I just wish I enjoyed the story. I don't. I've given it 6 issues, so it kind of ties off, and I'm gonna say goodbye to this comic now. I've said this, and I've got to stick true to my word. I will carry on with a comic if I enjoy both the writing and the art. I cannot support a comic if I only like one element of it. Saying that, I still buy Batman by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, but the reason I buy that is a car crash. And there's some part of me sometimes I like to watch. This week I got addicted to this uh, Korean dating show on Netflix about these people who were still virgins and never dated anybody, and it's cheesy as fuck. And I enjoyed it. That's the vibe and the fun I get from the Batman comic. As for the Batman titles, that's the weakest one. It's the Kardashians of the Batman world. But this, it's pretentious drivel. I'm sorry, and I know I'm going to get a lot of clap back from this because he's the darling of a lot of Dennis Camp is the darling of a lot of comic reviewers on YouTube. I'm just saying it like it's. I love well-written comics. Like I said, Scott Snyder, wonderful writer. Grant Morrison, wonderful writer. Jeff Johns, wonderful writer. But the stories, even at the most obtuse, weird, they make sense. I, he really does feel like Emperor's New Clothes for me. I feel like I just feel like screaming, saying, "Can you not see? He's wearing no clothes. What is it that you see? What I can't see? You know, I just know." So yeah, art 10 out of 10, story 5 out of 10, and there's a gap now. I think about 3 months or something until they come back again. But this is where I part ways with my absolute Martian Manhunter. What can you do? So onto the image now, and like I said, there's quite a big stack in image. So first of all, we'll go on to the um, Ghost Machine End of the Universe, and there's 2 comics from that. So we've got Hyde Street issue number 8. Ivan Reis is back on. Great cover, great story. So this focuses on Pranky. Obviously, he had that mask on his face, and it took over his body. He's become like a mini werewolf now, and it's all about him and what's he called, Mr. X-Ray, trying to get it removed. And it introduces a new character, this surgeon, and obviously next issue will be focused on that surgeon story. It's dark, it's weird, it's very Twilight Zoney. It's great. It's nice seeing Ivan Reis not doing superheroes. He makes a really good horror artist, very much in the vein of Bernie Wrightson and that style of art. Jeff Johns is on such a creative role at the moment with Ghost Machine books. 9 out of 10. And then this one, I like, but I get frustrated at the same time. And it's Geiger, number 17. Storyline, great. I get frustrated because it's moving very, very slowly. I want more story. It's enjoyable, but when you look at it closely, for 17 issues and a 6-issue miniseries, not a lot has happened. But it's good. But I think the reason it become more prevalent in this issue than one before is because I've not got the gorgeous art of Gary Frank in it. He's just there's 4 pages in this. Instead, in this issue, it's Eduardo Pansica, and the artists what they've got to fill in, they don't, they can't match. They can't match Gary Frank's art style, and so it leaves me, it leaves Jeff Johns carrying a lot of the weight. And I think compared to Hyde Street, Geiger isn't as deep as Hyde Street is, and so it's left a bit wanting the past few issues. Still enjoyable. I'll still give it an 8 out of 10, but Gary Frank was sorely missed on the past 2 issues, and I've got a feeling he's not. Yeah, he's only going to do a few pages next time as well. So I'm gonna this like this at the moment, fun, but I'm still enjoying it. I just want consistency, or to do what they do with Brooke, because some of us just take a break, so you don't have to have. I don't want to use the word subpar because he's a good artist, but you don't have to have somebody whose artwork is jarringly different to the main artist. Anyway, 8 out of 10. This I absolutely adored. One, The Invisible Man is my favourite Universal Monsters movie. My favourite character from Universal Monsters, and he's a true monster. Even if he wasn't the Invisible Man, he would still be a monster. He's an out-and-out psychopath. And James Tynion, it's like, it reminds me very much. It reminds me very much of American Psycho, but obviously set in England in the 1920s, was it, or 1800s? Can't remember. And it's got artwork by Danny. Now I don't know if Danny's as well known in America. Danny, I know she did the Image comic Coffin Bound with Dan Watters, but she's done loads of stuff for Rebellion and 2000 AD, a lot of the specials and stuff. She did Black Beth, I think it was. She's got a very almost like she's like a curious blend of Eduardo Barato, not Barato, Eduardo Risso, and Frank Miller from his Sin City days, and her art is gorgeous, and it's perfect for this period setting. The writing by Tynion is brilliant. It's not Invisible Man isn't really horror. It's the film isn't horror. It's a thriller. It's like I said, the invisibility part is just something to get you to watch the film, but it's more about the study of a psychopath and how he behaves. And this is full of menace. This is leading up to him becoming the Invisible Man, and it shows in this how he's trying to pass himself off as a normal human. It's that typical sociopath thing where he's giving people the answers that they want to hear, so he appears normal. Meanwhile, he's having these visions of killing people, cutting the throats and stuff. It's wonderful. This is what I wanted in this comic. It ticks all the boxes. 9 out of 10. Ghost Pepper, fucking amazing. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Very European. This wouldn't be able to place in Heavy Metal magazine. The art and the writing by Ludo Luabi is really, really solid. When I read this, in my head, I kept on hearing I'm such a geek, the soundtrack of Akira playing. I could hear boom. It's got that kind of Akira vibe. It's got this epic, otherworldly, futuristic style to it. And it doesn't explain anything really to you. It lets you just like unravel it for yourself. And it's all the better for it. I'm not going to say anything about the plot. You need to read it. It's only 2 issues. Stop being a lazy ass. Get off your bum and buy it. 2 issues, and they each deserve a 9 out of 10. Another comic that's wonderful. News from the Fallout. This is the closest you can get to George Romero in a comic. It's Doctor Strangelove. It's perfectly spliced with Night of the Living Dead, and it's great. The art is just stark black and grey silhouettes, and it works. Even though it's just silhouettes, you know who's who, just for the little adjustments of the white for glasses and stuff like that, or the wavy hair for the female character in it. And it's great. It's a wonderful story. I think it finishes on the next issue. I think it's only 4 issues. It's either 4 issues or 5. I don't think it's very long at all. But yeah, it's a joy to read. I'm so pleased I managed to get it last time. And yeah, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Another one, I shouldn't be enjoying this book because I am the wrong demographic for this book. I have no fond memories of this comic or the franchise it's spun off from. That's G.I. Joe. This is the Energon Universe version of it by Joshua Williamson. Um, it's had a different artist the past few issues. Andrew Milani with Lulu Ridge on colours. I love the arts. I love the colours. It's ticking all my boxes. I'm a sucker for that kind of colouring. The story, though, is so much fun as well. It's so fast paced. It's such an easy read. Like I said, I know fuck all about G.I. Joe, and I love this comic. 9 out of 10. Another comic that shouldn't be good, but it is. Because the concept's been done on TV, in film, in comics, in books. Exquisite Corpses, the oligarchs of America, if that's such a thing, um, each choose a serial killer to go into America and to kill as many citizens as they can, and the other serial killers from the competing higher powers. And whoever wins, they take control. That's it, and it works. And it's the brainchild of James Tynion and Michael Walsh, with different artists and writers guesting in each issue. And it's seamless. Say that there's different artists. It's seamless because you've got Michael Walsh overseeing the arts and you've got James Tynion overseeing the writing as well. So in this one, the writing is by Che Grayson with James Tynion. Arts is Adam Gorham with Michael Walsh. So it's still got that cohesiveness. It's great. It's fun. It shouldn't be as good as it is, but it is. 9 out of 10. And another one, I'm going to give it an instant. Yeah, I think I've already done one 10 out of 10. But another one that's 10 out of 10 is Battle Beast. I miss Lobo, the classic Alan Grant and Keith Giffen Lobo. This is filling in that gap nicely. Artwork is just gorgeous. The comic is so funny. Who knew Robert Kirkman could be so funny? Because I found some of his stuff in Invincible and some of his humour a bit ugh, but this is great. And the artwork by Ryan Otley is just a masterclass what you can do with comics. 10 out of 10, just wonderful. Now, I did do a critique shorts, which you can find on YouTube, of Sonya Reborn. Just about this writing, the art by. So this is new. This is a new Red Sonja comic by Christopher Priest and Roccolo on artwork. The art, I really enjoy. I really liked it, and I love the colours and everything. It's really, really good. I enjoyed the story up to a point. Now, this basically focuses on this English woman who works for this politician, and it's a strange setup at the beginning of it. She's in America chasing this other woman who slept with her partner or husband, and she's planning to kill her. So my gripe with that is you don't like the main character. It's a strange device to make you warm to the main character. But the thing that detracts him the most, and I wish American writers would stop doing this. Oh my god, the lingo, the dialect that they give her. It's just bad. I don't want to go into it because I did it on that short. But yeah, it's just cliche. I know I think it was Lee Williamson did it with the Captain Britain comic, the last Captain Britain comic, where they use these stupid, ridiculous words, what we don't use in England anymore, or what you might see on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, or whatever. And it's just, oh, like she says things like Gordon and Bennett, and then in brackets explains this hashtag Go Blimey, English meaning for Jesus Christ. No, we say Jesus Christ. And it's just things like that. And they say that she's part of this exclusive club in London, the Caledonian Club. It's not all that exclusive. I've Googled it. It's not. And the thing is, this is what really, it's one thing that really, really pisses me off with American writers when they write about England. They think that London is the whole of the UK. So she's meant to be Scottish and she's meant to be based in Lancaster, but she's meant to be a member of a club in London, which is about 200 miles away. No. So I kind of enjoyed the story. Didn't like the main character, who's now they've done an Outlander. She's now become Red Sonja. She's kind of timey-wimey, ended up in the body of Red Sonja. And again, that's a bit but I kind of enjoyed the story. It's a trashy read. It's a fun trashy read, but I like the I like the art. And I like some plot beats in it. But I'm not going to put it in my pull list. I'm going to check it when it comes on the shelf and decide if I'm going to get the second one. I'll just have a look at the dialogue because the bad, cliche, derivative, unknowledgeable writing of a British character has pulled me out completely. It's just cringe, really, really cringe. It'd be like me thinking that everybody's not like, "Hey man, if you come from America," or called New York, New York, or whatever. But yeah, oh god, but yeah. So 6 out of 10. And then this one, I had the first issue, and for the past few months it never got into my pull box, so I forgot about it. But then issue 4 of Space Quest, which is Space Ghost meets Johnny Quest, was put in my box. Unfortunately, they had the previous 2 issues. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Mark Spears cover fan. I don't know what it is, but his artwork just leaves me cold. I know he's got a huge fan following now, but I don't know. But the writing in this, it's by the same team who did the original Johnny Quest comic, which I loved. And so the artist is Perez, and the Sebastian Perez, and the writer is Joe Casey, another team from the Johnny Quest comic. And it's a seamless crossover. And Joe Casey, he doesn't get enough praise for his writing. He's got the voice and the vocal beats of both characters from the different comics perfectly. It's a great blending of. I don't think it could work, but it does. It blends both universes perfectly, and each issue is such a fun read. It's only 4 issue one. I do highly recommend you go into your comic shop and buy this, and buy the preceding Johnny Quest series before, which was only about 5 issues. By the same team, it's gorgeous. The colouring as well is some of the best colouring out there. It's just really, really good, fun, retro flavoured escapades. It's a jolly jape. And yeah, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. And then we move on to the House of Very Few Ideas currently. Oh, I want to love them, but see, unlike a lot of people who were Team Marvel or Team DC, growing up, I was both. I just loved comics, and I embraced. I had loads of Marvel because obviously in the UK as well, Marvel comics were easy to get because even if you couldn't get the American ones, they did reprints of American comics each month from with Des Skin as the editor. So I love Marvel as equally as much as I do DC. But but for the past 10 years, Marvel shit. And so when I do, but I live in hope that they're going to get good again. And sometimes they do, and I'm thinking yes, but then they disappoint me because either they stop the series after 10 issues, which drives me mad, or they have million and one crossovers, and you're like, what's the point? But anyway, by the by, Marvel miniseries Imperial. There's just another issue to go. $4.99. Jonathan Hickman. Now, this is going to be a big gripe as well. As I said about artists, I don't know half of the artists on Marvel. They have no names anymore, and it feels like they just grab as many artists can do one comic, just so they can get it out, so they can flood the market with as many comics as they can. And they have said that before. That I think they've said that they've got to flood the market so they can stay, the big cheese of comics. But like on this, it's got 3 artists on the comic. It's 4 issues. Why couldn't they just have planned the comic last year, give the artist enough time, one artist enough time to do 4 issues? But no. So previous 2 issues, there was 2 artists on it. Now there's 3 artists, and there's only one more issue to go. So that has dulled the enjoyment of the comic for me. The writing, though, I really do enjoy, even though it still sticks with me. I don't like how he writes Peter Quill. Jonathan Hickman, he does a really weird Peter Quill, which doesn't sit right with me. But I'm enjoying I love Marvel Cosmics, so that side of it I'm enjoying. And I'm actually enjoying it because there's going to be a Dan Abnett. I think it's going to be like a new iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy coming out late this year or early next year, stemming from this. And there's also going to be a Nova comic as well. And these are 2 teams what I love. I love Nova back in the '70s when Marvel Wolfman wrote him. But yeah, it's good, and I like there is an appearance by one of my favourite Marvel teams. They're not human; they're Inhuman, and he writes them really well. And I wish there was an Inhumans comic coming out. But yeah, so story 7.5 out of 10, art 6 out of 10. This was a gamble. So this is the Mortal 4. I've got a list, but it comes from Teen H's. And it's the continuation from Alien, but unlike the Fantastic Four new soft reboot, this reads perfectly well as a brand new entry point. I fell off the bandwagon with Immortal 4 because it got very bogged down in its cleverness. I like how Ewing got to a point and there's stuff when I think like, oh, cringe. Um, it feels like sometimes you're saying like, oh, look how much not comic knowledge I know, and it's like, nah, I'm not interested. But with this one, it's kind of like strips it away. It reads very much to me like the classic Kamiko series by Matt Wagner, Mage. It's got that kind of vibe where it's the mythology, but it's in real world settings, so it's underplayed. And when there's little sparks of magic, it's more of a shock. So in this, as it says here, 4 is a Norwegian who doesn't have any remembrance of being a god, and he comes up to some scrapes later on. It's got art by Pasquale Ferry, and oh my god, the art is just wonderful. It's brutal. There's a lot of blood in this. I was surprised by the almost very adult nature of it. Oh, it's a Teen Plus book. I'm enjoying it. And I don't want to enjoy it because when I enjoy a comic, it's like the kiss of death when it comes to Marvel. Don't disappoint me, Marvel. I'm going to carry on with this. I'm going to give this, for a Marvel comic, 9 out of 10. And so now I am getting Fantastic Four. I'm getting 4. I'm also getting Captain America. I think that's it. I'll be getting the Punisher miniseries when they come out, and I'm going to try Nova when it comes out. So that's a big increase from. Oh, I did have. You say, but what about Red Hulk? Well, Red Hulk's finishing in about 2 issues. So I won't get my Deathlock fix or my Mishima fix anytime soon. This is what I mean. They break my heart. Marvel, you break my heart. Oh. But that's more than I was getting last year. Finally, save one of the best to the last. Never disappoints. Conan the Barbarian, issue 23 by Jim Zub. And who's the artist? It's Ferocious Fernando Dagnino, who's a great successor to the previous artist. Still got that classic yet modern flavour. It's just wonderful. Buy it, you stupid sods, if you're not buying it. Buy Savage Soda Conan, buy anything that Titan bring out with the name Conan on. They're doing crumbs work with this. They really are. Yeah, 9 out of 10. A constant big seller of mine, constant favourite. You can't go wrong with it. So that's it. Oh my God, 45 minutes. I do apologise for the length of that, said the vicar. Anyway, oh, I'm turning into Geeky Old Hog. No, do check out Geeky Old Hog's site. Do check out, oh, what's he called now? Keeps changing his fucking name. It's either DC Patrol or Comics Patrol, whatever he's called. He's Canadian. Why did he do that? And yeah, yeah, bye. See you soon. Well, no, take that kiss back. Bye, bye.